Hey everyone, it's me, your teacher, Mr. Byers. Sorry, it's Wednesday. My first lecture's audio did not record, which is super annoying. Okay. I'm gonna try to rush through this one. I hate that, but it's just sort of the way it is. Okay. I'm gonna go over with you today um, editing, looking at your drafts, and essentially what I'm gonna do is demonstrate, like, if you turned in a paper, what if you turned in, like, let's say, like, if someone turned in this paper, okay, this is the grade that they would get. All right, so I'm going to kind of go over how I'm going to grade your papers so you understand what I'm looking for, so that way you can make sure that your papers that you submit don't contain these types of errors. Okay. All right, so let's say this paper was turned in. Okay, what is beauty? First thing I'm checking is MLA formatting. And I already see many errors. And every error is 5 points off. Okay. Well, this is paper one. It's probably gonna be a lot of errors. So I'm gonna go ahead and set, I'm gonna say 5 points off. If I notice that, like, there are just way too many errors, maybe I'll reduce that, but for right now we're working with 5 points per error. Okay. So right off the bat, this is an error. This should be in line with your body paragraphs, your heading. So this is going to have to be moved over. So that would be an error. Okay. That's 5 points. All right. Then I'm checking your formatting. I'm going to paragraph. It should be 0, 0, double. Okay. Nothing really changed. So that's fine. But these paragraphs, every paragraph needs to be indented. These are not indented. These are all errors. Every paragraph should be indented. So I should, like, make that. It should be that. Should be that. Okay. Then while I'm down here, I might as well look at the works cited page. All right. This actually wasn't originally. Hold on, let me take all this back. Let me take all this back. Originally, this was not double sided. This was not double spaced. So this would be an error because this is supposed to be double. So that is an error of just the way this is typed is an error. So that's an error. Now I'll go back and I'll mark these. Because one of the first things I'm checking is if those are, if the MLA formatting of both the works cited page also is correct. All right. So all that should be indented. Let's see here. This right here, it looks like there's too much space between these paragraphs. Look, oh, see, 0, 8, double. This 8 should be a 0. Now watch. When I hit OK, you're going to see this space close up. Some. Boom. Okay. So, yep, formatting is wrong. All right. Those are some errors right there. Okay. First paragraph should be about you. It should be your narrative. Gabby stood under the bright shining lights as she wiped her palms on the skirt of her dress. Interviewed beside her asked, "Okay, I mean, this is still a narrative. It doesn't have to be about the writer, Doc Watson. So sure, but this is a grammatical error. We don't end a sentence with a question mark and then have a period after it. That's wrong. Okay. Per my notes. Per my notes on punctuating quotes, quotation marks, and punctuation. Let's see. Let's pull this up. It's either my week 3 or week 4 notes. I think, yep, here we go. Week 4. Quotation marks. Okay. Commas go inside of quotation marks. So like this is incorrect. This, comma, quotation mark, that's incorrect. Or if it's a period. So that's an error. I discussed that in my lecture. This right here, comma, outside of the quotation marks, that's an error. The Oxford Dictionary defines beauty as, all right, this is an error because when I went over, let's see here, research, week 3, research, I said, do not use dictionaries.com. I know this is dictionary.com, online encyclopedias. This is the same thing as online dictionaries. If I don't want you to use dictionary.com, doesn't mean that you can use oxforddictionary.com. We don't use dictionaries. So this right here is an error because I said no to those. So that's a problem. The author, Terry Cheney, wisely shares this idea when she says, okay, pretty would be nice, and yes, it pleases the eye, but beauty lasts forever and captures the soul. There are 2 errors here. One is here. There should be a comma after this verb, as I went over in these notes. Okay. I discussed how comma after a verb, we need to have a comma there, and how we don't have one if we don't have a verb before it. I discussed that in week 4. So that's an error. There should be a comma there. There isn't. And then we have, look, the author, Terry Cheney, or Sheeney, says this quote. And then we have the parenthetical citation. That's an error. Because again, here, in week 4, I discussed that integrating quotes. Okay. Where you don't state the person's name if you state their name in the sentence. Okay. Author's name is mentioned in the sentence and the parenthetical citation. Therefore, this is incorrect. See, Baldwin, this exact example, film critic, Annie Baldwin says this, and then we have her name. That's incorrect. This one is correct. We state Annie's name, Baldwin, and then after the quote, there is no Baldwin in the parenthetical citation. Author's name is mentioned in the sentence. Therefore, it does not appear in the parenthetical citation. So here, her name is mentioned. Therefore, there should be no parenthetical citation. That's an error. Psychology Today is not italicized. That would be an error. Because, again, as discussed in the notes, titles of websites, magazines should be in italics. So now look, this paper technically is a rough draft. I'm not saying that this person who wrote this paper is thinking that this is their final draft. Okay. I'm just imagining if this was a final draft, these are the points that they would lose. Okay. She does it again here. Cheney is now an author who writes blah, blah, blah in Psychology Today. That's an error. It should be in italics. And then technically this is okay because in this sentence, Cheney's name is not mentioned. So it's fine. But this is an error because that period should be inside the quotation mark. All right. And then I chose, okay, so this is personal. Great. That's good. Okay. All right. So let's count the errors. 1, 2. Indented errors, 3. Periods outside quotation marks, 4. The miswriting incorrectly, not italicizing the titles, 5. Using the author's name twice in a sentence, that's 6. Not having a comma after the verb before quote, that's 7. Using the Oxford Dictionary, 8. And then the heading being off, 9. That's 9 different mistakes. Okay, 9. That's not total because, like, I mean, if I was counting every single error, this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm not counting the multiple mistakes done more than once. Okay, I'm counting the total, the type of error. Okay, so there's 9 different types of errors in this essay. 9 times 5 is 45. 100 points minus 45 is 55. So this paper would get a 55. Actually, I'd probably just cap it off at a 60. A 60 is a failing grade, so why go below 60? All right. So pretty much once you make 8 errors, your grade's just going to be a 60. Okay. So this paper would get us would be a 60. All right. So not good. Let's look at another one. Joe Barry wrote about being a fashionista. Okay. So let's look at first MLA formatting. Okay. The space between paragraphs, it's the same as the space between lines. Paragraphs are indented. Okay. We have a header, we have a heading. Okay, great. This would be an error if this was an actual paper because the works cited needs to be on its own page. So this would be an error. And then there's too much space between these. Look, this should say 0, 0, double. Okay, so, oops. So that's 2 errors right there. So this person would have lost already 10 points. All right, it was a weekend for my grandmother's birthday. My family and I went to a fancy restaurant late in the evening to celebrate her birthday once more. This is a run-on sentence. It was the weekend after my grandmother's birthday. That's the complete sentence. My family and I went to a fancy restaurant late in the evening to celebrate her birthday once more. That's a complete sentence. You cannot separate 2 complete sentences with a comma. You would need to have a conjunction. And my family went, and I went to blah, blah, blah. All right. Okay. So I'm dressing up, looking good. Examples of these are a Kubi fashion, streetwear fashion, Coeta, or I don't know, indiecore. All right, I don't know any of these things. Goth, emo, sure. Stargirl, yeah, okay. All right, Tina K. Lloyd, writing for the New York Times, discusses how, all right, that's great. As I reach, this is great. This is how, if it wrote just discusses, we need a comma, but this how here serves kind of as a comma, so we don't need that, and we don't capitalize this A. That's great. Quote within a quote, just use apostrophes. Great. Okay, and then we have a period inside the quotation mark. Perfect. Fantastic. No parenthetical citation because it's already stated here. Perfect. Awesome. Good, good, good. All right. Now, this is a film. This should not be in quotation marks. These should be in italics because Dune are films. And again, if you go back to the PowerPoint, films are in italics. Okay, so that's an error. Wisdom K himself said, if you'd asked me my freshman year when I was trying to find blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we need a source for this. If Wisdom K said this, then when I go down to the works cited page, I should see something by Wisdom K. That's not here. So that's a problem. Where did Wisdom K say this? Did he say it on his Instagram, or did he say it in a article? Was it a tweet? Like, what was it? So if we follow the quote, and in my first video, I found it. Where is it? It's in an article. This quote is, oops, not that one. Not that one, jerk. Okay, Wisdom K. Meet Wisdom K. Yeah, Teen Vogue. Okay, here we go. There it is. Okay. So this is actually an article called Meet Wisdom Team K, the fashionable TikToker turned IMG model. Here's that quote. If you'd asked me my freshman year when I was trying to find myself, I wouldn't have told you I'd be a model. By Tina Reed, April 29th, 2021. That is the source. So it's actually Tina Reed. So here, when it says Wisdom K himself said, blah, 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 you should actually have here a parenthetical citation. That should be a period. This should be Reed, period. And then down here should be Reed. Tiana. I'm gonna put this over here so I can see it. No thanks, Teen Vogue. Tiana, period. Meet Wisdom K. I'm just gonna imagine that's the end of the article name, okay? Because for time's sake, I put then Teen Vogue, and the date it was published, 29 April 2021. Okay, comma, and then the URL. That boom. This should be here. It's not here. That's an error. Okay, this is a double error because this should be here, and then this should be here. Parenthetical citation should be there. So you have a quote without a citation. All right. Okay. I've always blah, 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 blah. Good, 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 good. Okay. So now count the errors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 errors. So this is 75. Okay. Person's got a 75 on this essay. Way to go, Joe Barry. Get yourself a 75 paper. Last one, Bill Simmons. Okay. Bill Simmons. If you look at the grammar suggestions, self-reflection, error, okay. MLA formatting, on page. So that's an error. Also, the citation is not indented correctly. Remember, you gotta have a hanging indent. And I discussed how if you try to tab that second line, the whole thing goes over. So do you remember what you gotta do? That's right. You gotta go to the end of the previous line, hit tab, tab, tab. Move those over. So that formatting is incorrect. So that would be 2 errors. Then looking down, when we look at that source, as Dr. Amadeo rightly points out, okay, so this is correct. No, this is not correct. All right, points out. Oh no, let's see. Is that a verb? Is that like points out or points out? No, you're right. This is correct. This is fine. Points out. This is essentially the same thing as saying, as Dr. Amato rightly says, quote, so we can have a capital letter there. That's fine. But here though, the parenthetical citation is totally incorrect. I mean, this is first off, it shouldn't even be here because the name is already mentioned. Look, there's the name. But let's just say that the name wasn't even there. Oh yeah, okay. Well, actually, we'll get to that one down here. So this doesn't need to be here at all. But then down here we have another issue Dr. Amato points out is outer beauty can be as much of a curse as a blessing. We may believe a habit of being so blah, 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 blah. Okay, quote here. All right, so again, we don't need this because of the fact that it's already mentioned who the person is. But even if we did, let's just say this and this. Let's say we wrote another issue she points out is if the writer would have put she, Bill Simmons would have written she, then we would need parenthetical citation. But this parenthetical citation is really incorrect because we don't need PhD, we don't need MFT, and we don't need paragraph number at all. So all of that's incorrect. All that's wrong. Then up here, we don't need this comma here. Another issue she points out is that, and then this needs to be lowercase. That's the right way of leading into this quote. We don't, well, technically is a kind of a verb. It's not the same thing as, it's a what's it called? Like a helping verb or whatever. It is not a verb like speaks, says, points out. Another issue she points out. But even if we just left it as another point she points out, outer beauty can be as much of a curse as a blessing. That doesn't really sound right. Another issue she points out is outer beauty can be whatever, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. But you would not have a comma here. All right. Is that outer beauty can be as much of a curse as a blessing. Okay. So we have here one error for being on the previous page. Error number 2 for not being formatted correctly. So that's 2 errors. 3 is the type of parenthetical citation is incorrect. This verbiage is incorrect. 4. The having a parenthetical citation is wrong in general because her name was already mentioned. That's 5. I'll probably just ignore that one, like whatever. So 5. So this is a 75. Okay, this is 75. All right. So those are 3 essays, 3 examples. I hope those were helpful. You should, if you have time now, I mean, if you have time, still make an appointment with the Writing Center to see if they can help you with your essay and you get some feedback on it. They don't edit your papers for you. They sit with you and they point out errors that you can fix, okay? They try to help you understand how to fix those errors, okay? even if it takes you to the beginning of Monday or Tuesday of next week to go to the writing lab, I would do it. Okay. Remember, your essays aren't late. They're not late until I grade all the papers. Okay. I have 100 students. I have 100 college students, meaning that so far a good 60% of you are turning your work in on Sunday nights. So let's say I get 60 essays turned in Sunday night. That's going to take me all week to grade those. All right. Because these are long essays. There's a lot to do. So it's going to take me uh, more than 1 week to grade all the essays. So if you need some extra days next week to make your appointment, get in with the writing teacher, uh, tutor, have them help you with your essay, and then kind of make those corrections. And you don't submit your paper to like Wednesday of next week, I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure you'll be fine. Okay. So I would um um I would not necessarily rush to turn it in if you haven't been able to go by the writing center yet. If you can go by the writing center and get some assistance and help with it before turning it in, that will probably be better. Okay. But don't wait longer than like next. If you know for a fact that you're not even done with the paper, you're not even done with the paper, and you probably won't even be done with it till Monday, then you probably won't be able to get into the writing lab and back and done by Wednesday. So in that case, you should just turn it in on Monday. But like if you finish it today and you can't get an appointment until Monday or Tuesday, then maybe do that. Okay. It's up to you. Whatever. All right. It just needs to be turned in by the time I'm done grading all the essays. All right. Hope this was helpful. Sorry it's late in the week. Sorry the microphone wasn't on. But let me know if you have any questions. All right. See y'all later. And